and then there's the agent builder, which is the separate software that you download. And here in the web console is where you do all of your agent management type stuff. So that would be like actually running your agents.
Just real quick,
yeah.
Are you recording this?
Yeah, I am. Yep.
Do you think you could send me a copy afterwards?
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Sorry, I should have told you that at the beginning.
That's okay. I just wanted to make sure. Otherwise, I was going to record it. But since you're recording, cool.
Yep. So you have all of your data here in the web console, and this is where you would come, like click on this tools icon here to export your data. Just if you want to download it as a CSV that you can open in Excel, or other people will do publishing options. So if you have maybe your other agents that are going to run more frequently, you would set those up to run on a schedule and then have them email you the data like once a month or something like that, so you don't have to go in and download it on your own. The harvesting settings here, these are usually very helpful in troubleshooting. So we might get into these if we set up an agent, it's not working how we would expect it to. And let's see, one more right here, the notifications. So a similar thing when you have these big agents, which it sounds like the ones that you're going to be focusing on will probably be quite a bit bigger and maybe take a few hours to run. You can set notifications to send you an email when the agent completes or when the agent, if the agent stops because of an error. That way you can go in and fix it. Yeah.
Would you mind if we, and this is going to sound, this is not meant to sound pushy at all. I'm just trying to give you some feedback on how I learn. Is there any way you can tell me what to do and then I do it? Because otherwise I will not remember this.
Yeah, definitely.
It sounds weird to say that, but like I can't tell you demos I've been through where my eyes glaze over and I'm just like, by the end I'm like, what the hell just happened? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, if you literally, it's the first thing you should do and be like, give it a shot. Like I will remember it dramatically better.
Yeah.
And it will cut
perfect.
down asking questions and repeating myself and wasting your time.
Yep. So if you want to just click on the Agents tab up at the top and choose All Agents, this is where you'll see your list of agents. So every one that you create.
And this is the login screen that I would get to normally?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Sweet.
So we have the 3 that you've created there. And then this is just because we've updated recently. And then if you want to click on one of those agents, doesn't matter which one.
Okay.
And this is the screen that was showing the data that we were on a second ago.
Got it. What platform are you using to do this kind of like walkthroughs?
Like I said, this is just because we did an update recently and kind of moved around where specifically those 2 items were on the page. So I guess it's probably just some sort of JavaScript overlay or something like that.
Got it. Cool. So then before you were saying that there was 2 things you were explaining, and I apologize because again, the reason I interrupted because I knew I wasn't paying attention as well as I could have. So can you say that one more time and tell me what to do?
Yeah, click on the gears over on the left side. So, yep, that's the tools icon. And this is where you can change some settings as well as download the data. Yeah, it's kind of confusing. The real settings that are important are under harvesting settings. So under the settings heading and harvesting, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, why do they have that?
I don't know. That was just the product manager decision, because there's been a lot of times where I tell people to click on settings and they get to the wrong thing. But then these settings are mostly for like troubleshooting. So if we want to just go through some of these, do you have any questions about these ones on this tab here?
Just reading real quick. So I assume that requesting a web page image during processing, is that saying, wouldn't you have to select for that image within the agent to make this even applicable?
So the reason why that the agent doesn't request web page images by default is just because it saves a lot of resources. You don't have to ask the website to bring in those images. The only reason why you would check that box is if it messed up the HTML. If the image didn't load, like if your locations that you had assigned in the agent would be off then. So otherwise, I don't know if you've ever seen a website that has like the little image broken link picture.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it would be by default because we block the images from coming in, just so we make less of a footprint on the websites that we're scraping and use less resources. Yep.
And what would the footprint look like? I mean, from their side, would they get alerts or something? Is there some type of software that tells them somebody's scraping?
No, it's just making a lot of requests to the server because a lot of times just depends on the way that the website's set up. They could be making a call to the server to bring in every single image, and that could be like thousands of different images. So if we just say we don't want to request any images, it's going to be faster for your scraper to run, and then it's also just not going to put as much of a load on their website.
And so might be able
people,
to say, hey,
yeah,
when it calls the back end, and they'd say like, there's clearly something going on here.
Yeah, yeah, and it could slow down the website for other people that are trying to use it. So we just try to make as little impact as possible.
So you're saying you typically wouldn't want to request web page images during the processing?
Yeah, not unless you need to.
Got it. Okay, cool.
If there's no more question about this one, if you want to just go over to the error handling.
Sure. So you said error handling. Got it.
Yep. And then do you have any questions about this screen here?
What's the best practices?
Best practice would probably be to set both of them to stop.
Okay.
And that way you just have a little bit more control. Your agent's not going to like be skipping or missing data and then just ignoring those errors and get to the end and you look at it and the data is not usable. It just depends on your use case really though. If you're fine with 2 or 3 rows being blank here and there, then you might just want to tell it to ignore the errors.
Got it.
And then that setting, instead of stopping the job with an error, postpone the job. That's important because a lot of websites, especially, again, like these ones that you're doing, might be older, and after you've been on it for so long, it might just slow down or stop, or the website might not respond. And in that case, if we have this setting, it's going to just wait 5 minutes and then start back up.
You're saying that, hold on a second. Sorry about that. I'm actually visiting my parents' house because it was my dad's retirement party, so their dog's
okay.
Crazy. So the okay, so the again where we were was instead of stopping the job with an error, you can either postpone the job for a certain amount of time or cancel the job. But you're saying that in our scenario, you think that would be something that would occur often?
Yeah, we wouldn't know for sure until we run the agent for a while. But if you keep seeing errors that say like the page timed the page timed out or something like that, then you would probably want to check that box. So it's not something that you would know for sure to check until after you've seen that error happen. once or twice.
Got it. Okay. Cool.
And then just a few more under the advanced, and then we'll go to the agent builder. So these ones are a little less straightforward. Do not process multiple list items concurrently. Mozenda tries to optimize its speed by working on multiple items at once. Usually that's fine and it will help, but once in a while, depending on the type of site, that might break the agent or cause it to fail. And so checking that box just makes everything happen one by one. Maximize the browser window is for like websites that have a responsive page. So if the window gets to a certain size, it's going to go to a mobile page, and your locations are going to be different. So I almost always check that box that says maximize the browser window during processing, because it's not going to hurt your agent if you don't.
So why is that so critical?
So when your agent runs on our servers, it runs in basically a browser window, but it's minimized. And so if you don't have that box checked, and if the website's set up to go to a mobile version when the screen size gets to a certain size, then your locations might change, and where you were looking for the data on the full-size site isn't applicable anymore, because now you're on the mobile site and your agent's not going to find what it was looking for.
Got it. What if, okay, got it. So you're saying that, essentially you're saying you always have to have the browser open full width, otherwise you're screwed.
Yeah, and it's on our server, so checking that is just maximizing the browser on our server. It doesn't actually have anything to do with you, but yeah.
Got it.
So if you want to click save here,
what was
save the changes we've made.
JavaScript executive
Okay.
processing?
Yeah, so JavaScript, it can slow down pages if they have a lot of JavaScript that they're trying to load, or if it's not very well formed. And so you can check the box to disable JavaScript as it runs. But most websites now actually rely on JavaScript to be able to work at all. So I don't find myself using that checkbox very often.
Got it. And what was the suppressed dialogues again?
Yep. Suppressed dialogues would be like when you click on a page or click on something on a page and the little dialogue comes up that says, are you sure you want to do this? Checking that box would just make those not pop up. And I don't, yeah, I don't think I've ever had to use that.
Got it. And can you give me one more example of why the process multiple list items, or can you explain that one more time?
Yeah, so Mozenda tries to speed up by doing multiple items at once. So as it's collecting, let's say, the company information for one company, if it clicks and like drills down and gets further information about that one company, at the same time it's going to be looking at another company and gathering that company's information. Usually that's good and it'll make it go faster. But sometimes if the website uses like a lot of JavaScript, if it's changing the data that's on the page by JavaScript rather than links to a new page, then this multiple list items being worked on at once, it's not going to work very well. And it'll probably make your agent error. So checking that box can help in that situation.
Got it. And so you're saying, you essentially have to evaluate the way the JavaScript was utilizing or pulling the information from the back end. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right. So we just save this?
Yep, sure.
And so if I
then today,
your harvesting settings, and that's basically what I just pulled. That's what we just talked about. Got it. Okay.
Yep. And then I also just briefly showed you where to download the data. So it's in the same place under the Tools menu. And under Data on the far right, it's Export.
Got it.
Yep.
Cool. Got it. Okay. And these are the ones that already ran, I assume.
Yeah, so this would actually just be the jobs, so information about the jobs that have ran. It's not going to be the data from those jobs.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, I think that should be pretty good for now. We're not covering everything, but I want to get to the agent builder as well in this little time that we have. Did you have a website that you wanted to look at, or do you want to look at one of these agents that's already built?
Yeah, I would like to start from, I mean, this sounds kind of stupid, but I'd like to start from scratch on the DONS directory because I would like to use this training as a chance to, like, just actually learn how to do it so I can just, well, let me ask you this first. If once I learn it, like, I should first ask, how long would it take for me to get proficient in scraping a standard website?
Yeah, it depends on the website because everyone's going to be different. But I would say probably like around 5 hours you would be pretty good at just any website being able to get at least the basic structure set up. There are some little gotchas that take a long time to recognize, oh, the reason why it's not working is because of this one little thing here. But I think just to set up an average website, probably about 5 hours of practice, you would be pretty good at it by then.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to do at least just walk through one so I can, like, practice it today, even though I know we built out one for DONS directory, but it would be helpful for me just to learn the process in case I have to troubleshoot.
Yeah, definitely. So if you want to open the agent builder, you can just click on that white M up in the top right by page credits.
Okay. This guy?
So the M icon, just to the left of it, yep.
And will this automatically pull open a new builder?
Yeah. Yeah, it will. There we go. So you have to click on it. It doesn't come up over the top. So down just by your programs that are running down in your status bar.
I got it.
There you go.
Get rid of this.
Yeah, click on, yeah, that's good. Cool.
Do I say start new agent?
Yep.
Okay. My understanding was I would first go here and then I'd say, like, I just put in the actual, and I don't even remember what the user ID is. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Now, if I wanted to, I know this is the input that I want to put in, but if I want to have them typed in, would I still create the action like this?
What do you mean by that?
So, like, meaning, like, so it doesn't look like I'm just copying and pasting my login. It looks like I'm actually, like, typing like a human.
Okay, yeah, I'll show you that. Just click create action here. Okay, so click back on page 1 before we do that, and right-click on the action that we just made.
And the action being this guy?
Yep. And then choose properties. And under element events, down, yep, there's under event options.
Okay.
It says wait so many milliseconds after firing each event. Each key press is an event. So you could say, like, wait 10 or something like that.
What's the typical, like, do you happen to know what time it is to go between each key?
No, normally websites don't check that, but just for demonstration, like maybe 30 would be a good number. And then check the box that says set each character of the input value individually. So under element events again. And then click save. And watch your user ID. Oh, I thought it would. So right click on that set user input again, and then choose execute. So it's just doing it. When we test it, we'll see that it does the typing one by one.
Cool. So then I would just go to, just type it in.
Yep.
Okay. And then create action. Then I assume I would do the same thing, right?
Yeah, if you wanted to do the same thing where you're typing in the values.
This rendering web page. So should I be waiting or?
Yeah, just wait for a second. So the reason why it's doing this is because when you, yeah, that's fine. So go ahead and go to the properties, and I'll tell you. So the reason why it was rendering the web page is because you chose to press enter after setting the input, which is fine, but that just made it so that it was loading up the next page after you log in.
Yeah, so I probably should go back and I can save the.
Yeah, either way is fine.
Is that normal, this error?
Yeah, so what this is saying is that the password field isn't found anymore. And that's because the page changed. So all we need to do here is...
How do we change the enter thing?
Oh, so if we change the enter now, then we would need to reset the agent a little bit. So let's actually start over a little bit. So go ahead and X out this page. Yeah, just that page 2 that we're on. Yep. And then change the URL up at the top to donsdirectory.com/login.php. And then say close this agent and load the new URL. And then say no. So now we're going to start from the login page. Sorry, say that again.
Would you have to do that every time you made a mistake?
No, definitely not. I just wanted to start from, I wonder if it doesn't let you start from the login. Sorry, let me just check something on my computer. Oh, I guess it defaults you to here, so I shouldn't have told you to do that, but oh well. One more practice round. Go ahead and start a new agent from this page.
Got it.
Yep, and then let's not do that one. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so now we need to click on login since we chose to not press enter.
I just want to create that. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so what are we going to do from here, or what would you normally do in the website?
So normally I would go to, I believe, search directory database.
Okay. And sometimes it's a good idea just to walk through everything before you create the agent and just try and look out for any gotchas there.
Okay. And then I think I just want. I don't think. So I don't want to do this multiple times, but I think I'd start with this one to create action.
Okay.
And then I would probably just search.
Okay.
And then from here, what I want to do is I want to go in and essentially I want to skip anything that does, if it says operator, I want to capture the information. If it doesn't say operator, I believe that's right. You know what? I can filter that out after the fact. We can capture every single one.
Well,
let's
just filter it. Let's just filter it now because it's pretty easy.
Okay.
So let's make a list out of these links here, the company names.
It's actually, it's the links. It's not the. I actually want what's inside the links.
Right. Yeah. So if we make a list, what it'll do is we'll capture the link, which you might or might not need. But then when you make a list, it's like a loop. So it's saying for every item in the list, click on it and go inside and capture the details.
Got it. Okay. So how do I do that?
So click on the first one and capture list.
Okay.
And then, like the instructions say up in the top left there, click an item you want captured in the list, and then click a similar item. So click on another item there, and you'll see them all highlight. So and then we just name the list. Yep. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so now we're getting every company, and you said you wanted to filter off of whether it's an operator or not.
Right.
So click on operator and choose capture text. And then you'll name this field like, it's called business activity product service, whatever you want to name it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, got it.
That's good. Yep. And then choose save. So now you'll see in our captured text preview down at the bottom, we're getting every company name and the type, basically. So right-click on, right-click on Begin Item List Company over in the left-hand side and choose Refine List. So now under the conditions, try putting in a condition that makes it so that we only get companies where the business activity is operator. And it might need to be capitalized like it is in the captures.
Okay.
And then just make sure you click Add. Yep, and then let's click Save.
And again, what you did was you did the Begin Item List, and you just said Refine List. And
yeah, exactly.
Is company. It's really business activity, isn't it? But oh, so okay, got it. So capture. Question is business activity. Okay, got it. Okay, cool, sweet.
And then if we look at our capture text preview, so go down to to that capture text preview and just drag that up a little bit so that we can see more of the window. Yep. And you scroll down. Looks like we're getting to all of them.
Sweet.
So that's good. You can lower that down back down if you want.
Okay.
And now what we're going to do next that we've filtered the list, just like you would if you were normally looking at this site, you'll click on the company name, right?
Mm-hmm. Click item.
Yep, click item.
Okay.
And then what information?
Here,
yeah.
What we want to capture is really, so it's kind of an interesting situation. It seems like we already have the name, right? So we don't have to recapture that, do we?
No, you don't have to.
So then we want essentially the name, the title, and any associated, so for example, the way I'd want this is, and you can tell me how this is going to show up, but I want these to all be attributed underneath that one company, and I want, like, if there's individual phone numbers, then it should show their individual phone number next to the person. Otherwise, it should just, this number should just default next to the company name.
Okay. I'm just trying to think what would be the best way to do that.
I mean,
so let's try. Yeah, go ahead.
It doesn't have to be like that. It could be you have their names, you have their titles, and then you just place this phone number next to each one of them, except when there is something next to them. I mean, so like you're going to see in a couple of these records, some of them will have a cell phone next to it or an email next to it. And we need to capture that for that individual row and that individual. But otherwise, we can just say that's their normal number. I mean, there's a couple ways to do it. I'm not really partisan anyway.
Right. Yeah. Let's look at the HTML here because it's kind of just a weird setup. So if you right-click on Capture Text Preview, that blue span that goes across, and then choose DOM, D-O-M. This highlights in the HTML whatever you're hovering over on the page. So let's hover over that, like GT Tommy Kimball the second. Okay, hover over David A. Kimball now. Oh, interesting. So it looks like they're putting each row here in its own table, which is kind of a really weird way to do it. But let's try capturing it in a list and then see if that would work for you, see if the output would work. So click on the first name under here and choose Capture List. And then click on another name.
Okay.
Yep, and then you can just name that field whatever you want.
So with that caption, it looks like it's capturing the name. It looks like it's capturing a bunch of stuff, right? It looks like it's capturing the name and the title and like a couple of the address points as well.
Yeah, and we can filter that out in a little bit.
So should we just call this name, or are we going to be able to split the two from the name and the title?
Yeah, we'll be able to split them in a minute.
And can we put them in like first name, last name, or do we have to just do? Well, I mean, honestly, it doesn't.
Yeah, we can. It's a little bit more advanced, and it takes some like pattern recognition language called regular expressions.
Yeah, I can do a filter in Excel later, so I'll just tell this name. Hopefully. Okay, create action.
Okay. So let's look at our captured text preview. So down at the very bottom of the Mozenda screen, you see Capture Text Preview and DOM. the very, very bottom. Okay, yeah, so it looks like we're just getting kind of everything there. And then the pattern, it looks like the pattern for most of them, besides maybe David A. Kimball, is that you have the name and then a comma and then the title. For some reason, well, I guess they put David A. Kimball, comma, space, junior. So we can refine that out if we right-click on Capture Full Name, the action in page 6. And then choose Refine Captured Text. Okay, so what this is going to do is it's going to show us the text that we're capturing for each of these names that we have in the list. The first one, it's kind of weird because it's getting just this HTML stuff. If you click on Next Item, up in the top right, we get to 1-exploration. Click on it maybe 3 more times and we'll get to the name. There we go. And now just pull the edge of, or the corner of this window a little bit so we can make it bigger, so it's easier to work with. Yeah. All right, so click on Capture Definitions up at the top. So we're getting what this capture definition says is that everything is going to be in this field called full name. If you highlight just a portion of it, so let's highlight GT, Tommy Kimball, yeah, all of that. I guess it didn't do it for us there. Just go down to the capture definition where it says % full name %. Yep. And then just arrow over, there you go, and put a comma right there. And put a space after that comma. Maybe it's not liking that there's a space between name and the extra % sign or the second % sign. Just get rid of that space right there.
Strange as it's like. There you go.
There we go. Yeah. So like I said, the problem with this is that we've got once in a while, if it has junior or the second, then it's going to have a comma before that. But normally what we would do here is you would put % full name %, comma, space, and then do % title %. So if you want to type that out.
Can you say that one more time?
%, and then the field we want, and then % again. So that's how you name a field. And you can do this sort of pattern recognition here in the Refine Capture Text window. So if we were to say like full name and then put a B instead of the comma, everything after the B in Kimball, so take out the spaces around the B. So do you see how that's looking for the pattern to say, go till you see a B, and then everything after that is going to be called title? Is that kind of making sense?
Did that happen, but wouldn't it be highlighted differently?
No. So the highlighting, it's a little bit tricky when you have multiple fields with the highlighting. And I think for some reason that's just stuck with the blue highlighting that we did earlier. So if you click on, yeah, there we go, and put your space in again. Yeah. So if you click on next item, there we go, there's the highlighting. You'll see that it's going to work for all of them except for those first two. So keep clicking. So now it's going to get the correct name and title. And like I was working with someone yesterday where we had a similar situation where a couple of the names just didn't completely match the pattern. And we decided that it would be best just to say, if it works for 99% of them, let's have that. And then if you have junior as part of the title, well, I guess you could have like junior account executive, but with that 2% that doesn't work out with the easy capture definition, those are better to just fix manually. But if you wanted to really spend a lot of time to parse these out,
it's fine. That does not matter.
Yeah, I'm just saying you could do it. Yeah, go ahead.
Just for the sake of my own remembering.
Yeah, just press cancel.
So you're saying, so again, the way we got here was we got to the page on this click, and then we went and we did it basically like I clicked on it. So for example, I'm just going to, just for the sake of my knowledge. So you're saying at this point right down here, I would have gone and said search and click item. I would have pulled this up, and there we go. Let me make this a little smaller. And so then I would go right-click on, or excuse me, I would click on this, and then I would go capture list, and then it's going to ask me to click on something else, right? Mm-hmm. This, and then I would call this, company, create action. And then at this point, don't tell me, I don't remember. At this point, then I went ahead and I captured list again, right?
Nope, just capture text.
Capture text, got it, okay. And why is that? Why is it not capture list that time?
Yeah, so once you have one list, you're going to say basically for every company, capture its business activity as well. Otherwise, if you did multiple lists, you would say for every company, capture a list of all of the business activities.
And so now when I, under the refine, don't tell me what it is.
So I'll give you a hint. This is the wrong refine window. We need to refine something else.
So I would have gone to this guy?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, this guy.
Nope. So we're trying to refine the list. Yeah.
That's okay. Got it.
Because we want to filter the list.
Now refinement is capture company activity equals operator, and then I have to add it, and then I have to save it. Got it. And then at this point, going back to DOM, I should be able to see. This isn't. I'm too early for the DOM. Okay. So then at this point, I'm just going ahead and clicking on this guy, right?
Yep.
So I click item. And so then at this point, I think we agreed that we were going to do a capture list again. And then we're just going to do this guy. And we're going to call that name, full name. And we'll create action. At this point, now, am I looking at, would I be looking at the DOM, or would I be looking at text preview?
Yeah, so the DOM, I was just using the DOM to try and see if there was any good pattern that we could use for this capture list. Unfortunately, it looks like they just threw together this site, so it didn't really work out that way. So yeah, the DOM was just kind of a double check for me.
Got it. Okay, cool. And so then at this point, then we went ahead and we went to capture full name, and we did, don't tell me, find captured text. And then I think we went to like the third one. And at this point, I think, I don't know, I think I remember. I think that was, okay, tell me.
Yeah, so you just put in the pattern here. So how are you going to know when the full name stops and the title begins?
Got it. So the comma, so are you putting comma here for the?
Yep. Take the comma out of the, yeah, so do percent and then your comma. And then what, and then you have to name or you have to capture the title as well.
So then, so you've been doing the.
Yep.
Correct?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you click save?
Yep.
So that's basically it.
Yeah, so if we look at our captured text preview now, and just pull that up a little, you can see for most of them it's looking good. So you saw earlier how to get rid of, we don't want P class equals blah, blah, blah. We don't want numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. So how are you going to get rid of those? How are you going to refine those out of the list?
So, I mean, I assume you would go back and refine captured text further, right?
Nope. So it's the refine list like we were looking at on the previous page.
Got it. Oh, so you have to go back up here and then you have to refine. Got it. Okay. Refine list.
And then we want to skip the first 4 items.
Do you think that's going to be uniform across all the pages?
Well, at least the first 2 are going to be probably pretty safe to skip. But yeah, you would probably want to test that a little bit and find out.
Okay. Why can't I see the number here?
Are you on like a 13-inch laptop by chance?
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably why. Do you have a bigger computer at work that you would normally use?
Yeah, I typically would have 2 screens.
Okay. Yeah, it'll look better when you're not on your laptop.
But I could have
It's just hard. Yeah.
Got it. So
It's hard
really
to get the programming right for every size screen with this type of app.
Got it. Okay, so sweet. So we just did 3, and then you just say that's fine.
Yep, that's fine, just like that.
Just save. Okay, so then I guess the next thing is to go ahead and, now the question I'm having is, how does this roll in to be compared to this original list that we captured?
Yeah, so the way it's going to work is it's going to have the company name repeated next to every name here.
Got it. Okay, cool. So then how do I, so now I assume that I add a new like text.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yep.
And save it. Okay, yeah, that's perfect. So, and then we can just say it's the same for all of them. The question becomes, there is moments where there will be the cell phone next to them,
Mm-hmm.
and there might be an email. So the question is, how do I, like, I guess what you could do is just have this as the main phone, and then we could do, like, any individual guys we could create a separate list for, and just call it cell phone or something like that, right?
Yeah. Do you know, I guess I'm sure you don't know off the top of your head. Oh, there's one similar. Kilgore might not be exactly what we want. It just depends on how they put it. If it's in the same like row as the full name and the title, so if it's in that same HTML element, it would just put it right next to the title.
Got it.
Otherwise, we would want to create a capture action that does that. So what I do in these type of situations is once I get everything captured on this page that I want, then I'll like open up some different pages and try and get one that has some of the other variations of the things we want to capture and capture those.
Got it. And so now what I typically, this might not be there every time. I guess what I could do is just go through and just delete all these kind of additional ones. Like I could just do, it does grab, like, yeah, that's kind of funky. Because it does grab, like, I could see this being like number 2, but it would be like kind of conflicts with the cell phone list, you know? Am I missing that?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe the sites that you're going to be scraping are all going to be this type because this type of industry, I normally see these kind of websites. Typically, it's not going to be set up in this way. This is kind of a really, really bad layout of a web page. So they're not giving us much to go off of to say the names start here and end here. The locations, are going to be in their own list. So this one is a little bit difficult, unfortunately, because it's all just in these table bodies. Like they just threw it in that way. So
yeah,
we could probably, yeah, and this is just your first training. I think you've learned a lot already. And maybe another time we could go more into like if you want to parse these out more, if you want to get it more structured, we could talk about some ways to do that.
So then I assume so I assume we're out of time here, and then how many training sessions do I have?
You have 3 more, I think. But for March, actually, if you're going to be around and not too busy, until the end of March, for new customers, we're just going to do free trainings like once a week. So if you want to schedule those with me, just let me know, and we can get some more set up this month for free, and then you'll have your 3 more you can use after that.
Sweet. Cool. Well, and so I get 1 hour per week for free?
Yep.
But yeah, I'm free. I'm pretty much free all. I'm not free Monday, but I'd be free like Tuesday. I'd be free Wednesday during the day, and I'd be free Thursday during the day.
Okay, yeah. So next week I'm pretty busy on Wednesday, but Tuesday and Thursday I have openings, and I'm usually just here from like 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Were you in Eastern time zone, right?
I'm in Eastern right now, but by the time we talk next, I'll either be in, if we do Thursday, I'll be in San Diego.
Okay. Yeah, so Thursday it would be like 9 a.m. would be the latest I could do it in San Diego time.
9 a.m. Thursday is fine.
Okay. Yeah, do you just want me to schedule it on your Calendly again and then send you an invite, or do you just want me to send you an invite?
Yeah, Calendly would be fine for 9 a.m.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Before we finish this one, if you have time still, we can hurry and test it. And
okay, cool.
I can just, yeah. So if we've got everything we want.
Before, or that would take too much time on this one?
Sorry, say that again.
Would we be able to add in the cell phone and email real quick, or would that take too much time on this call?
Let's try it. So click on page 5.
Got it.
And let's click on another company. So click on like Adams Resource Marketing, for example, or yeah, if you know a bigger one.
Yeah. These are all small guys. In fact, I don't even know half of them.
Oh, and we'll also put in the page list before we finish up today.
These guys are like, this is probably biggest one.
Okay, so one thing that we saw there is this one had operator and something else, like operator and acquisitions, I think.
So it wouldn't work.
So if we wanted to get that one as well, we would need to change our list refinement. Instead of saying business activity equals operations or operator, we would need to say business activity contains operator.
Got it.
So, yep, we can just delete that one. And then hit add and save.
Sweet. Okay, and then I'm just going to find another guy. These guys are just tiny. Honestly, I think that a lot of these won't have them, but I think Arrington is actually a decent size. When I say follow link.
Yep.
Oh, what happened there?
That's all right. Just exit out of that, and then let's click on page 6 again. Yeah, I don't know why it did that, but...
Yeah, there's no additional, so go back and try one more.
Wait. Oh, that's all right.
Did that screw something up?
No. Well, now we would just have to recapture everything that we did on page 6.
Oh, shoot. Did I delete that one?
Yeah. That's all right, though. No worries.
Okay, so, but I mean, we might as well find the good one, right? So we can just
so click page list there at the bottom. Or, sorry, in the create action menu. Page list is the last action. That's good. So it's saying it's going to look for any item that contains this PNG image that's called arrow right PNG, which should always be the next page button. So yep, create page list. So now Mozenda is automatically going to click on, once it runs out of items on this page, it's going to click on the next page button. It didn't do it right then, so right-click on the page list action and choose execute. Yep. Yeah, so the yellow warning sign, that just means that the item is optional. So the reason why it's optional is because on the last page, like when we get to the Z's, the page list shouldn't be there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why it's not taking us to the next page. Try holding Control and Q on your keyboard and click on the link that says Control Q. And click on the link that says Next 100. Press. So what's happening is apparently it wants to download. So it wants to take you to a new page. Press cancel here. Let's try one more thing in the page list action. So right-click and choose Properties. And under After Performing this action, or After Performing action, the first tab there.
We're talking about which part of the
just up in that top left little window thing where it says Save and Cancel.
Got it.
After performing action, choose Perform Actions on page 5. And then click Save. Okay, let's try doing the right-click execute again. Yeah, I don't know why this page list isn't working so well, and it's probably just the website being old and grumpy. But I can look at that a little bit more and see if I can figure out why.
Yeah, the account
But
executive had figured it out, so there's definitely a way to do it. It's just a matter of whatever
yeah,
that is.
yeah, sometimes things like the page list can be a little bit more tricky. And that's one of those things, like I said, it takes just a few hours to learn to set up the main structure of an agent, but then there are some little tricks that you just learn over time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it signs you out if you go to a different page, huh? So let's just not worry about getting the email and phone for right now. And then if you want to play with this more afterward, you can. If you find it, try and capture it. You can send me an email if it's before Thursday that you get a chance, and ask me any questions, and I'll look at it and either email you back or we'll just plan to talk on Thursday. But I think you should be good to go back in and to add in page 6 again after you click on the company name and then capture the list of names and do the refinement where you break it into the name and the title.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just test the agent right now and make sure that we can at least get everything that we've done so far, make sure it can get back to this place. So click test agent.
After the first page.
Yeah, as of right now, since the page list isn't operational yet, and I can look into more ways. I think I have one more training today, and then I might have a few minutes to open this back up and look and see if I can fix it.
Cool.
So choose test agent and uncheck that box that says tile browsers. Do you remember when we were talking about the responsive images or the responsive web pages and how we wanted to maximize the browser window?
Yep.
It's the same thing here in the agent builder. So the tile browsers is going to break it up into small windows. So if you uncheck that box, then you'll just see everything in this one big window here. So click start, not done. Yep. Yeah, that's one of those things that gets people to is the done button there. I think we're still trying to get the user UX design down.
So is that it?
It's not done yet. I think it's just trying to do the page list now. And it doesn't look like the page list worked. Yeah, so it says page request failed. Let's check one thing in the page list and just see if it's this one simple issue. Yeah, go ahead and X that. Right-click on testing results. And we're going to open another debugging window. This one's called XPaths. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so scroll down in the page till you can see the next page arrow.
You scroll. For some reason, I'm not.
Yeah, just in the normal web page, not in the XPath window. Yeah, there you go. And once you see that, go to the DOM window again. So I think we need to scroll down a little bit more. Actually, a lot more still in the A's. There we go. Hover over the next 100. Button. So if we look at this HTML, you can see that what you're hovering over right now is a button element. And its name is button next, and its type is submit. It has a value of 1. Nested inside that, there's the image class, or sorry, image class equals button right. The problem is, if we look at our page list, sorry, we're already on it. Click on XPaths down at the very bottom. We're looking for an image, that image tag. So click back on DOM. You'll see that the image tag, it doesn't have any action associated with it. So this is a form, apparently. Again, I don't agree with this website at all, but they've made it a form. So when you click on Next 100, it needs to submit. And right now we're inside of the button, and so it's not going to submit because the submit action is attached to the button. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
So if we click on XPaths again, we'll change this so we'll say find the image tag and then go back out to the button and then click on the button. So at the very end of this, where it says arrow right.png parenthesis square bracket, go to the very end of that and do a / and then do period, period. And close that little pop-up that just came up. And let's right-click on page list. Hopefully this will fix it. If not, we'll need to check it again. Or we might just have to test the agent again. So click on test agent up in the top left.
Oh,
Sorry, not there. Yeah, the full agent. And then start over. So basically what we did there is we said, yes, go find the image with the right arrow, and then just go up one step from that. So we're actually going to click on the button instead of the image. So if we just grab onto the testing results window and drag it down a little bit, we'll be able to see the page. Okay, so there we are. Now we're on the C's, right?
So it's working now.
Yep. Yeah, so it's just little things like that that sometimes take a little bit of time and experience to figure out those kind of problems.
Got it. So just real quick, so how do I just stop it right here?
Yep.
So if I was to go in, and it seems like, and I know HTML, but I don't know CSS that well. So I mean, I can identify I could say okay, clearly this, this is, as you said, it's kind of funky, but what the hell was that? Was that JavaScript? What was that? Dot slash? What was that thing that you just said? Why
Yeah.
did that
So yeah, that's called an XPath, and it's just a location, a way to specify a location in an HTML element. So basically those two slashes at the beginning means search for, and then we're searching for any image tag. And then this little piece right here that says normalize space, source, arrow right. It's just saying look for any image tag that has a source that is arrow right.png. And then the /./ means once you've found that image tag, go back to its parent, which was the button.
Got it. And is this still
so that's
HTML? I'm super basic HTML guy. I'm not a coder by any means, but is this still HTML?
Sort of. It's called XPath, but it's sort of HTML, yeah. Like the contains and normalize space, those aren't in HTML. It's a lot like a file path. So if you were to click on your file explorer just to see in Windows, go ahead and do that. I'll show you something if you don't mind, if there's nothing sensitive there. Click in the top where it says Source Water Creative Business Cards. So this is kind of like an XPath, right? It says start at the C drive, go into the users, go into your user, go to the desktop, source water folder, and so on until we get to business cards. If you go back to Mozenda now, and sorry, just the agent builder. Yep, over on the right.
I'll let it go. Is it in the page?
No, the agent builder. So you're clicking on Chrome and Firefox. Yeah, there you go.
So you okay.
Yeah, no worries. So click on Capture Company. You'll have to click Done first in the testing window. Click on Capture Company Name or Begin Item List Company, one of those other ones. Do Begin Item List, yeah. So if you look at number 2 here, it's the same thing. So your C drive is the start of your files in your computer, right? The HTML tag is the first tag on a web page. Right. And so we say start at the HTML and dig in through the body, through the first table body, all the way until you get to this A tag that's at the very end of that string there.
Got it. So now the form 1, are they saying when it says form 1, is that the submission? Or like what is?
Yeah, so they've made this whole site a form, which is just not good at all, but they've made it a form. That's why we needed to click on the button that says submit. So what that does, and this isn't really going to be too helpful with Mozenda, but basically what it does is it's going to send a request back to the server that says, I've looked at page 1, now send me page 2. And it's not the typical way of doing it, but just this website did it.
Like that page, right?
Yeah, so the A1, remember where this begin item list is looking for the company name, right? So the A1 are those blue link tags that we click on to get to the company details.
How do you know that? So I get all the, what does A1 stand for? So I get like the HTML, the body, all the other tag. What does A stand for? Maybe that's something I just don't know.
I'm just going to look because I'm curious. Yeah, I don't know if it has a real meaning, like where it comes from, but A tags are just always, I guess anchor. A tags are always links, or almost always links.
So wait, is it an aref or is it like just A? Or is why wouldn't it say aref?
Yeah, so it's actually a href. So an href is an attribute, just like a class is an attribute, and ID is an attribute.
Got it.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So
I've never seen an A tag used. I mean, I'm complete. This is coming from like complete noob, like HTML guy. But like I've never actually used an A tag without the href.
Yeah. So this isn't HTML. This is the XPath, and what the 1 means in there is it means find the first A tag. So if you were to change that to a 2 or a 3, it would find the second or the third A tag rather than the first.
Got it. Understood. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yeah. Any other questions for me so far? I'm sure this is just an introduction, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you going with my learning style because I'll now know this pretty much in and out from what we talked about at this point. But if we had done it the other way, I would have completely had to rewatch the recording you sent.